Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of February 17th, which, woof, okay, this is a big week. This is a good week for us. We are not only going to have the sun switch signs, so taking us into a new energy and taking us into Pisces season, is also bringing out the last season that we're all going to travel with. It's the last energies for the year, so that's a really big deal. But we have also got Mars coming direct this week, and while I want to get hype and be really excited about it because some of the energies will be able to come online. We'll have new strategies that we can apply. There is still some work to be done with this Mars retrograde, and we are in the pre-retrograde time for Venus retrograde as well. So there's still a fair amount of energy, which as we're heading into March and into the rest of the year, you know, it can be like, yes, the shifts and the changes are coming, but it can feel a little bit like we are baby stepping towards them. And I want to confirm that, like, yeah, absolutely, that is true, but the changes are here. So just to say, as we're getting into this week, this is a big week. Every week we have is a big week, right? There are big energies to work with, especially if you're gathering, studying the astrology, and noticing the changes that are coming along with it. So I look forward to breaking that down for you. Now, before we jump in, I'm really excited to share with you a couple things. First of all, there's going to be in the next couple days a series of videos that are going to be released for you about the Venus retrograde that's coming up, because it's really a story that is going to carry out for the rest of the year. And it is a very active retrograde. So not only did I create the Venus retrograde video for you so that we can just talk about that and know what's coming up, but then I have 3 other professionals that we are going to talk with as well. And they're going to take us a little bit deeper. They're going to take us into what Mercury's role is actually in this Venus retrograde. We're going to talk about the asteroid goddesses, and we're also going to talk about fixed star curve. And so this is like a really nice series I put together with you so that you can take it into your chart, because the best astrology is your astrology. And Venus at this particular retrograde is really taking us all to school. So I want you to know what you're studying for, know what you're working on, and that'll be coming up for you just this week. Along with that, I am putting the Venus Reset program that I have, 22 beautiful days of guided Venus work, on sale for you for the duration of the retrograde period. So it's going to go on sale as soon as you see this video, all the way until April 12th. So honestly, if you've been in a position or you've been having the experience where, first of all, you are feeling stuck in your energy, you're feeling stuck attracting things to you that you want, if you want to get to know your Venus on a more personal level, if you've been experiencing a lot more problems with your pelvic bowl, feeling tightness, feeling like you can't get your hips to relax, you can't open and receive, you have an interesting relationship with rest or relaxation, right? The Venus Reset program is absolutely for you. So check it out. It's in the description box down below, put on a really nice sale for you guys, because I think it's really important that we dig in as we're going to school with Venus retrograde to heal and to release and to, most importantly, reclaim what each of us has to offer, okay? All right, so yes, this week we are going to see that sun is going to shift from the vibration of Aquarius, having done the Aquarian season, and we're going to move into Pisces. That Mars is finally coming direct in Cancer after a long retrograde, although we still have the second portion of the cycle to take care of. And so as we're talking about this and we're thinking about the energies here at the beginning of the week, just getting set up, I want you to take an opportunity this week to, share with me in the comment section down below. Can you feel that energetic shift that's already starting to push and starting to happen from that Aquarian vibration into Pisces season? Because in Aquarius season, we were encouraged a little bit more to think outside of the box, to back up and have a bit more detachment and not so up close view of what everything's going on. We were encouraged towards a more collective set of thinking and reasoning. There's a lot been going on, and we've heard a lot of collective voice, right, during this season. So Aquarius season did its job, right? But now it's going to ask us to yes, we've stepped out of the box from embracing so much tradition. It has to be this way. And instead we're looking at what's good for us and our communities and how do we add to that. And now we're transitioning to something that's more fluid. It's more emotional. It's ready to transition things from one state to another. It's ready for intuitive energy. How do I intuitively process this? When we think about this Pisces energy, a couple things come up for us to each just process. If you are alive and we are back at the table of Pisces season, that we have made it into another season, right? Another season of life where the Pisces area of your chart is essentially having its own birthday, even if you're not a Pisces. This area of your chart is mutable, right? The mutable energies take us from one thing to a next. So looking at coming into Pisces season this year, and considering where you were at in Pisces season this time last year, what is transitioning for you? What have you seen that you were able to let go, or you were able to bring to culmination, or you were able to have this really full integration? What kind of forgiveness have you given? What kind of, the culmination of all of your experiences, because Pisces season, especially being this final sign of the zodiac, invites us to do that. It invites the reflection, the healing, the connecting with our own inner world, connecting with rest and surrender. So these are going to be some concepts that govern us over this next 4 weeks as we are traveling. It's also going to be the story now of seeing some of the unconscious things, unconscious desires, unconscious beliefs that we have on the table as well. So it's really a season that I think is governed for us about connecting with some of the things that are unseen, because they produce what becomes material for us, and allowing sometimes the material being to allow us to question what is also working in the unseen. Now, we've also got the North Node, we've got Saturn, we've got Neptune, right? They're all over in the Pisces vibration as well. So it amplifies this need for us as we're coming into the season to grow spiritually, to talk about these emotional boundaries and to explore where we have them or where we need to dissolve them, where we need the healing, where we need the compassion. And then the sun coming into there is going to bring light, heat, life, and vitality. So we're even more motivated to bring, I think, even a sense of discipline, maybe. It's like our destiny to bring a sense of discipline and action, actually practice these principles of Pisces living into our lives. Now, some of the things about Pisces living as well that we'll be pulling in is bringing it into the actual body. In Pisces, we are going to look at things about the lymphatic system. We are coming down in the body to the feet. We're going to come to the pituitary gland, things that need to be, toxins that need to be flushed out of there. So in the body, even bring your attention to what is got your attention right now as we're heading towards this Piscean season. Okay, let's jump in here and talk about what's going on this week. So first of all, coming in on Monday, our moon day, the moon that governs us coming in is actually the moon being in the vibration of Libra. So we're still coming in off of that Sunday energy where we're encouraged towards balance, towards harmony. We're thinking more about how we feel as the moon travels through an air energy. But when we get later in the afternoon, 4:23 p.m., and this is Colorado time, okay, going all the way until 5:18 p.m., we're going to see that the moon has a void of course time. So it's our opportunity to remember that there's more opportunity to rest and to pause and to integrate than sometimes we give ourselves credit for. It's a nice time to just let things be for a minute, only work on what actually needs our attention at the time. It's not a great time to be starting new things. Instead, allow, use this window to just let the dust settle just a little bit, to breathe, to come back to center, because just behind that, we're going to do a little excavating as well. The moon's going to move into the vibration of Scorpio just behind this. And as the moon moves into Scorpio, it is just not as light and feathery as we experience when the moon is traveling through Libra. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper. We need to ask some more questions about, my unconscious world, what's happening. There's an intensification that comes with our emotional states. What do I really need? Like at the depth of me, am I satisfied? Am I satiated? Is there something that needs to be detoxed from my emotional world? It can also make it so we don't want to be as social as necessarily we did when the moon was traveling through Libra, where we're like, yeah, that's okay. We need to connect. We're going to, you're the light in me. And you're like, no, I want to be at home. I need some quiet. I need some quiet downtime. And that's okay. Whatever this particular transit of the moon going through Scorpio is like for you, hopefully you're taking a little bit of note of your own astrology. What happens for you every month when the moon gets into Scorpio? How do you react? How do you feel? What does this light up in your own particular chart? This is a great day on Monday to take note of that. Now, as we roll around to Tuesday, we see the sun move from that position in Aquarius into that shift of Pisces, bringing our focus from the intellectual space into the emotional, creative, intuitive space. So all of these things we were talking about just a moment ago in the intro, these are the space where we're going to start to play with that during Pisces season. Now, Pisces is, again, also going to ask us at this point to integrate all of the lessons that we have learned across not just from Capricorn season to Pisces season, right? Because Capricorn starts the season, Aquarius holds it down, and Pisces gets us to a mutable space where we integrate and get ready for the next season. But for the last year, what have you learned? What has been innovated for you? Where have you had such an innovation, even in your own thinking, right? A change of mind or a change of perception, and what that unlocks in our spiritual, subconscious, unconscious space? Where have you maybe had an innovation in your way of thinking or being that has allowed a space for healing, for rest, for compassion, in a way that maybe last year it just was not available like that? Where have you seen that your boundaries are stronger, they're more firm? Where have you seen boundaries be dissolved and you're like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in that anymore? Either way, we get Tuesday and Wednesday to kind of bask in the shifting of this energy, again, amplifying this really nice stellium that we've got going over here in Pisces energy before we get to Thursday. And Thursday this week is our busy day. There is a lot going on Thursday. So if you had to mark a day this week, I would put a mark on Thursday. First of all, we're going to see that the moon comes into the position of void, of course, and this is going to be at 3:05 a.m. Colorado time, going all the way until 5:54 a.m. So it's not a very long void, of course, and for many of us, you may be asleep depending on where you are in the world, but it is the opportunity coming out of that Scorpio vibration to rest. Right? To rest. The very last aspect that the moon is going to make before it goes void, of course, is Neptunian. So it is, again, it's carrying these last thoughts of the Neptune Pisces vibration. What's going on with sympathy? What's happening with compassion? What's going on with the lymphatic system? Where are you releasing things? Surrender to win. Where is there a particular craving for creativity? You're bringing all of that into your void, of course, container. Okay. Just after that, we'll see that the moon now shifts into from stay-at-home Scorpio into I want to go see what else is out there. I want to try something else, Sagittarius. So this is the point in the month for some of you. If you've got a moon that is in Sagittarius, you'll be having your lunar return. And the questions that we're asking or we're exploring in the emotional and needs plane at this time are, what did I discover in the Scorpio time? And now I've got to go out and discover some new truths or expand my horizons in order to have these needs met. What truths have I recognized? Because what I'm seeking is seeking me as well, but I have to be willing to be a little bit fire about it. Fire is not like, oh, I'd like to exist. What do I need? What do I need? Where do I need to put a little fire in my life? Where do I need to take a risk to ask or to be emotionally vulnerable? Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiterian energy. Jupiter as well is not a small energy. So we're not playing small when we come to the moon moving in Sagittarius? Where do you feel like something in you, in your life, in your world is like unjust and it's got your attention? This moon in Sagittarius is a lot more enthusiastic about, inquiring about these things than the moon in some of the other positions. So I think it's a pretty jovial energy to be paying attention to. Now, as far as bigger cycles go for us, just behind that, we will see that the moon shifts into a last quarter moon. And this is going to be at just 2 degrees of Sagittarius. But because this is the last quarter moon, it is the completion of a cycle that we've been working on since November of 2022. We planted our seeds of intention at a new moon eclipse at 1 degree of Sagittarius. So grab your journals, grab that Google Calendar, go back November 23rd, 2022. What popped up for you? You were planting seeds of intention, but this was an eclipse, and you might have had to wait to see what unfolds. Some things might have been eclipsed pretty immediately, and you knew what it was, but this was the seeding point. We were starting there. Now, come August 24th of 2023, so flip those pages, come forward and see what happened from November to August. This was the first quarter time, and it was again at 1 degrees of Sagittarius. This is absolutely brilliant. It was right back at the other seeding point. So what were you doing? You would have been in action then. Things are changing. People, places, and things are falling out of your life, or they're changing, and you're building, you're in action, building the next direction that you want to go. So what did that look like? Come forward to May 23rd of 2024 when we get to the full moon time. And this one was at 2 degrees of Sagittarius. So just a degree away, and that's all right. But at the full moon time, first of all, we're celebrating. What were you celebrating at that time? What was happening? You were feeling good about it. You realized you built something. Something was being revealed. But also, it was the full moon. So what was being revealed to you? What truths? What programs of study or education or travel or new ceremonies, new faith was revealed to you at that time? And you needed to pivot. You needed to say, okay, I see this, but this doesn't have a purpose for me anymore. I'm ready to start surrendering that, and I need to pivot and go this direction. Well, now, as we're here at this last quarter that's also at that 2 degrees of Sagittarius, this is a closure. We're bringing that thing that you were birthing into reality and calling in with the help of the universe from November of 2022. We're bringing it now to a closure, right? You have your closure. Maybe you're being recognized. Maybe that business did get built. What you have some sense of completion, and it's going to be time to start to turn away from it and get ready to start your next journey, right? So it's a really big deal when we look back. I really encourage you, go back to the dates that I've shared with you and go back to your notes, go back to your calendar, go back to your doctor's appointments. What was happening for your children? Because depending on where this is in your chart, maybe your children had seeded something and their journey took you along with them. Go find out what it is, share it with me in the comment section down below, and I'll share with you guys this week as well, because I'm going to go back through and see what it was for me. Now, we're going to close out the day with Mercury in a square to Jupiter. So we've got the planet of our bigger mind and the planet of our smaller mind in contention here, right? And the square is saying, I need to do something. I'm under tension. I feel like I'm getting squished in this little box. I don't like it. So I need to do something to get out of the box. So one of the first things that this can feel like is like there are these really big ideas, right? Like a big idea or a big plan or something is coming up. And all the steps are like coming together. Mercury, like it's very meticulous. We're getting all these little steps together. But then there's this overextension. You realize in some way the information is overinflated. Your time is overextended in some way, shape, or form. So it's not simpatico, right? But there's also an energy here of needing to get right-sized because the thinking, the conversation, the news, whatever it is around information is excessive. It's almost overblown. I even feel excessive trying to explain this aspect to you, right? So you want to just kind of be mindful. Now, in a really, I think, positive way, it's kind of like if you needed to research something, like you really needed, you're doing your ancestry.com, this is a great day. Get in there, go down that rabbit hole. Go see what's down there, right? the negative will be like an overload of information in some way. So just to be mindful on Thursday of the information that's coming in and going out. And this information, all of Thursday's vibration is going to carry into Friday and most of Saturday as well. Now, the energy is churning, certainly as we're here Thursday, of this Mars getting ready to come direct, although that's not going to officially happen until Sunday. Now, Saturday afternoon, we've got 1:38 going to 4:08 p.m. Colorado time. We've got another moon moving into void, of course. And again, it's going to have this square to Neptune before it takes that void of course time. So again, we are still looking into the the unconscious, the creativity right now with the North Node in Pisces. If you're feeling tense, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, creativity is sanity, right? But one of the things that as the moon is going to go void of course, I was talking about this with another astrologer this week, is that it's really paying attention also to the things that we're putting into our bodies, because it's like we can be, we can kind of be asleep to it and we're not aware of how sensitive we are at that particular time. So just being mindful of it. If you're taking a particular medication or something like that, what is your intuition and your sensitivities bringing up to you if that's something that is coming up for you? Is this a time where your body is signaling to you, your heart is signaling to you that you need a little bit more rest, you need to actually let things come down, or are you just escaping? Whatever it is, this is a time for the next, 3 hours here to kind of let the chips fall and be with what's vibrating and true for you at this particular point. Behind there, we'll have the moon get into a little bit more substance as it comes into the vibration of Capricorn. So now we've got nice, earthy, grounded. But here, the moon in Capricorn is cardinal earth. So we have the opportunity to start anew. Where do I need to rise? Where do I need to make decisions that allow me to be in my most mature emotional version of myself, to go out and to do my life and to do my world? It's big kid kind of energy. That's that Capricorn vibration. That's big kid kind of energy. It's also going to get us ready for Sunday, where first things first, we're going to see that Mercury is in a trine here to Mars, who's still retrograde at this particular point, but it's vibrating on. I'm going to be turning direct here in a minute. So this Mercury in a trine to this Mars retrograde is a real signal for us that it's like, okay, this is a little bit clearer communication, probably about a strategy or something that needs to be done, plans that need to be made in some way. This is a bit more clarity. And the clarity, I think, will get even clearer as Mars comes direct, because there is a new strategy in play. The way you were going to be doing something, you're not going to attempt to do it that way anymore, because it's almost like you see the value or you see the problem in the way you were trying to do something before. Maybe it was making you emotionally crazy, or it was really stirring you up. You were getting emotionally frustrated trying to force something, right? So here on Sunday, we've got this moment of clarity. And then behind that, Mars is going to station direct right here in Cancer, bringing it's emotional drive, it's emotional action, it's clarity of action. And it's not like it necessarily just rushes in because Mars is direct. Sometimes it can take a minute for Mars to pick up speed. But after months of needing to be more introspective, but also need to take on actions and activities and behaviors and see what they bring to us, we are in a position to be like, okay, the energies are going to move forward and I have a better way of doing something. Now, we want to keep in mind the full cycle that we've been in, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video. We saw Mars start this retrograde October 4th, and this is 2024. At 17 degrees of Cancer. So going to 17 degrees of your chart, 17 degrees of Cancer in your chart, what was going on at that particular place? Now, we saw that Mars actually took the retrograde December 6th at 6 degrees of Leo. Okay, so we were starting this thing in a fire position. Now, as it comes direct here on the 23rd, it's back to that 17 degrees of Cancer. So where have you returned to? Again, go back to your calendars. Go back to your Facebook posts, what were you doing around that time that you're actually able to clock your life and see what was happening? Now, we're going to see what the entire Mars retrograde cycle brought to us May 2nd of 2025 when we see Mars get back to 6 degrees of Leo. That's when this cycle is fully over. We will see some of the temperature of our actions and our strategies kind of, I want to use the word normalize a bit after April 7th. Because even though Mars is coming direct, it's still out of bounds. So what we're needing to do, the actions we're needing to take, the strategies we're needing to form, they are outside of our normal realm or strategy of doing things, which is really great. Because if we want to have different experiences or we'd like to move something forward in a way that's not so chaotic and making us so emotionally stressed that is going to ensure more security, we have to move a bit differently. I also think that it's been really great because as we've entered into the digital revolution, we're learning that we have to move in a different way, right? But April 7th, we'll see Mars come back inbounds. So now the strategies that have been outside of our norm start to become new norms. And I think that that's going to be an energy that all of us are really waiting for. And then we can see that the entire cycle of the retrograde comes to a close when we get into May as far as the Mars retrograde goes. And see what it has shown us. What are the new ways that we're creating security for ourselves? What are our new ideas around using our skills and our talents and our voices, right? So it's going to be an interesting time over this next little bit. All right, beautiful friends. I think it's going to be a powerful week. It does encourage a lot of spiritual healing, moving into the Pisces area of your chart and seeing what's coming up for you, what came up for you in the past. If you are ready for a bit of help, jump in, take advantage of the Venus Reset program. It is on sale until April 12th, and I am very, very excited to launch out the Venus retrograde videos for you. So put it on like podcast style, have a listen, and see where what we're talking about connects to you. The astrology will be there. If you're ready for more astrology and you want to go deeper, we start out basic, and then we go a little deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. So for those of you who are brand new, there is absolutely something delicious for you to take from this and use it in the experience of your life. And for those of you who are further along and want just a little bit more, we've got that for you as well. And it's all built to be experiential to help you walk through the schooling that this Venus retrograde is going to offer for each of us. All right, beautiful friends, I love you a ton. Check out these videos at the end to help you continue having an amazing astro week and an astro lifetime. I love you, and I will see you next week. Bye.